Welcome to the final session under the Know Your Career Path, where we are now looking at the part where we say, how do you link your subject selection to your career choice? I would like to start by highlighting a problem that people oftentimes face when they are making a career choice. Most of the time I found many people would go on to choose their subjects or learning areas for lower 6 subjects before they've made the career choice. If you do that, what is actually happening is you are putting the cart before the horse. In other words, you are starting with subjects or learning areas before you have chosen your career. And oftentimes people end up choosing a career that goes with their subjects. It's supposed to be the other way around, where you are supposed to choose your subjects, and then you are supposed to choose your career rather, and then that career is the one that determines the kind of subjects that you have to choose. So I would like to highlight on this one because you need to make your career choice, know your career path before you have chosen, your subjects that support that career choice you would have made. Once you do that, it's quite easy. This is why you find that for those, for example, within the Zimbabwean context, before you actually go to lower 6, you need to make a decision, in terms of the career that you want to pursue. And then the subjects that you choose at lower 6 are informed by that kind of career you would have chosen. This is a very vital issue because I found in a lot of schools, people are making choices or learners are making choices, of subjects, and that choice is based on one's IQ. The way people say, how many A's do you have, how many B's do you have? So you may have to choose sciences or commercials or arts. But I'm saying the major factor that is to inform, your decision or your choice of subjects that you have to do at lower 6 shouldn't be, your number of A's or B's, but it should be the kind of career that you would have chosen. Ideally, the best time to make your career decision is at Form 3 level, or at the very latest, at Form 4 level. You should have made that decision. A very clear and a very firm decision. I found in many instances, people go on even to do their lower 6, and they go on to do their upper 6 subjects, they pass, and then they go to university without even being too sure of the kind of career that they want to pursue. I used to work at the University of Zimbabwe, and I remember many students who would come to the university, register for programs, and after a week or 2, they decide that's not what they want to do. They are changing areas and so forth. So I'm saying you need to make the career decision way before, and then that informs the kind of subjects that you have to choose. Let's look at different, just to do a bit of recapping, let's look at different career inclinations that we highlighted. You remember we talked of the REASEC model, and we're saying that those whose career inclination is realistic, and those are the ones who want to do careers that are outdoor, careers that are hands-on, that are practical, those who want to go even into farming. Once you discover that is your career inclination, then that affects the kind of career you choose and the kind of subjects you choose. So the key here we want to highlight is choose your career path. Be clear about your career path and let your career path inform the kind of subjects that you would choose. So a person who is realistic, you would naturally find that in terms of their career, this is a person who may end up, in a career, in engineering, for example, or in agriculture, or animal husbandry, that kind of career. So that then should inform the kind of subjects that you should choose. In other words, what we are saying is start with the end in mind. That's how it has to work. Start with the end in mind. Your destination is your career. So you need to be clear about your destination. And then your subjects are the means to that destination. The subjects that you will do, at high school are a means to that. The kind of degree program or the kind of studies you will do at tertiary level or university level are a means, to that end. But you want to start with that end in mind. This is why we are saying, know your career path. Be very clear, about your career path. Once that clarity is there, once that destination has been defined, then everything else you do, is leading to that end. I've given one example of realistic. We can give different examples. We talk of the social inclination, for example, which we also talked about. A person with that kind of inclination, you then need to choose, which area am I going to be in, because it's an area to help people. You have got what we may call a people-oriented career. So when you talk of these careers, you need to know there are three major categories that I want to highlight here, so that as you choose your subjects, that also gives you some guidance. You have got people whose career has to do with things. They are hands-on, they are practical people. You have got those whose careers are to do with ideas. They are great thinkers, they are ideas people. And then you have got those people, whose careers are to do with people. So you need to locate yourself in terms of these three broad categorizations that I'm talking about. Are you a person who is into people? Do you have a people-oriented career pathway? And when you talk of the people-oriented career pathway, you have got two sections under that. You have got those who will help to solve people's problems, like we highlighted when we talked of, the social. And then you have got those who are going to be enterprising. So you need to identify, are you a people person? If you're a people person, are you on the enterprising side or are you on the social side? Because like we said, for those who are on the social side, they are there to solve people's problems. They're in the teaching field, they're in the medical field. You talk of people who are into the pastoral side, counselors, people who help people. So you need to be clear, where do you find yourself? Because when you talk of the people element, like I said, you have got these two broad pathways. The enterprising ones are into business. You talk of your entrepreneurs, people who have a passion for business. You talk of people who have got a passion for influencing people. You talk of your politicians, people who interact with people. And these are things you can even check, from your own life and say, do I really enjoy just being around people, dealing with people? Is that something that excites you? You also have those who work with people who are under the entertainment industry. When you talked of the arts, those who have got an arts orientation, they also deal with people, but they deal with people in a different manner. So you need to actually identify and locate and say, where am I? And those normally who deal with people careers, they tend to be what we call extroverts. They are excited, they are ignited, they are motivated just to be around people. So when you are choosing your subject areas, when you are choosing your career, you need then to locate yourself. Or are you the introvert? There are people who are introverts, those who really are not outgoing, who would rather do their work behind the scenes, without much interference from other people. And those you find they are in the ideas category. You'll have your scientists there, you'll have your great thinkers there, those who solve problems. You remember we talked of the investigative inclination in terms of careers. So you need to locate yourself. Or are you a practical person? Are you into things? So as you think of, your subjects, you need to make that decision. Where do I belong? How am I wired? And once you choose a career that is relevant to the way you are wired, then it connects with this whole thing of purpose, where we're saying, when we talk about purpose, we're saying, how are you wired for your career? And which careers would you feel comfortable with? And that's a very important issue. And it is those kinds of careers that will bring satisfaction, they will bring motivation, you will be inspired to be involved in those kinds of careers. So when we are looking at this particular section where we are saying, choose subject areas that are relevant or that are aligned, to your career. So you start with the career and then you come back, you work backwards. You look then at the subjects or learning areas as they are called, that are relevant, to your passions. So it's key for you to know your ultimate destination, like I've already highlighted, and then work backwards and select subject areas. And I want to emphasize again on these subject areas to say, don't go for that bias we talked about, to say sciences are better than commercials or commercials are better than arts. All these three broad learning areas are equally important. The most important thing is, where do you fit? How are you wired for your own career? So remember, you were born for a purpose. Choose and pursue a career that will bring you lasting satisfaction and success.